Welcome to today's episode. I'm Nadia Domenick of AmplifAI Strategies, where we help general contractors, builders, and trade businesses amplify their growth, efficiency, and profits using AI solutions. We have an exciting guest today, David Lentz of Lentz Plumbing and Heating in Boonton, New Jersey. At only the age of 17, David started a contracting business and then segued into a very successful HVAC and plumbing business. Today's episode will focus on what's trending in the HVAC and plumbing industry as well as its pain points. David, welcome.
Pleasure to
Thank you.
meet
Thank you for being here um, on today's episode. So let's start with the basics. How did you get started in HVAC and plumbing? I know you segued from construction, but what made you do that change?
you. My father worked for building management companies, and he did a lot of big boilers. Before that, he had worked for a big boiler company and put in boilers and HVAC systems on the weekends because he had that knowledge from the company he worked for. And I joined every weekend with him to be involved in it all. I like the experience with the customers. I like the experience with the work. I like to be next to him 24/7. He was a great man, and it was just a very happy time in my life. And I still look back on that with much enjoyment and wish I was back there.
Well, that sounds special, actually, that you have that
But,
kind of close connection with your dad. Thank you for sharing
but
that. I appreciate that. So, when you were doing that, starting with your dad, what was your biggest learning curve, or basically starting your career in HVAC and plumbing? What was your biggest learning curve?
well, Dad wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer. Wanted me to go to Seton Hall, so I Seton Hall College. I went to Seton Hall High School for 2 years. And I went to Hanover Park for 2 years, and then I did Seton Hall College for a little while and realized it wasn't for me. And I already had my plumbing slash contracting business going without my license at that point, without my plumbing license at that point, and loved it. Just loved working for myself, loved working with friends, loved the talking aspect, liked the not books in my face every single day. I really enjoyed the working aspect of it and dealing with people every day, and I still do.
Well, you're definitely involved with a lot of people every day in your job. So, what does a typical day look like for you, if there even is such a thing as a typical day for you?
There probably is no such thing. I could, most mornings I start out and I'm sitting in my office at 5:45 usually. That's late for me, and I think the day is going to go one way. And emergency calls and people that need my help have problems with their air conditioning, their heating, their plumbing, and there's floods, and it just we do commercial and residential, so it's just every day is a nonstop new something to be into. Sometimes it's very complicated, sometimes it's very easy. They need our help ASAP every day. So there's not like, nah, what should I do today? There's always someone calling to say, can you please help me, David? And I love it. That's my favorite part of the job. I love it.
Helping people. Well, that's
I do.
part of why you've been so successful. And I would imagine plumbing, heating, and AC are two very important things in the hot summer and in the cold winter.
Absolutely are.
You are a very important person. So when those calls come in, how do you juggle figuring out who goes where, what you have to do? You have to now shift everyone's schedule. How do you figure that out and make sure that the right person gets to the right job?
Um, well, the commercial buildings that we take care of that are, I don't know, call it 20 to 100 family buildings, they have to come first because cities like East Orange, Elizabeth, different areas like that, inner cities will find the building owner for X amount of hours without heat or hot water. So we have to go to those first. And then we have to deal with, age brackets. We have some very old customers that we have to make sure they're taken care of. They can't be freezing or they can't be sweating. We have to take care of them next. And then
Right.
domestic hot water obviously is a major concern, so we deal with that also. And we just, the first come, first serve to a certain extent, and then huge, big buildings are very important too. So we kind of have to juggle it and try
It,
to figure out what we need to be first.
it reminds me of an emergency room, how they triage the most critical patients.
Correct. Correct.
So, from your seat, what's changed the most in the industry over the past couple of years? Was it the customers, competition, pricing, anything like that?
Bad parts. Since
That's
COVID, we a lot of bad parts. Quality assurance on the other end, whether it be domestic or other countries making parts, is making it very complicated for us. We get brand new units, let's call it boilers, let's call it water heaters, let's call it air conditioning systems, and they come through and the parts are bad right on them, right off the bat. As soon as we start up, we have bad parts all over the place. And if
is
they're not bad right then, they may go bad in the next 90 days. It makes it very complicated because, keep in mind, I don't make these parts in my basement, so, and the manufacturers are going to pay for labor, so the customers are stuck with paying the labor on bad parts for me to come back and manufacture brand new parts. Um, the manufacturer will pay for the actual OEM, which is their parts, their specific parts made by them, but they won't pay for the labor. They'll give us free parts. They don't pay for the labor. So say we're stuck there for 3-4 hours. The customer still has to pay for the labor. So it's been very complicated trying to juggle that conversation with customers because the manufacturers aren't going to pay for anything. So it's been very hard trying to explain to them why they're responsible for labor when they feel it should all be under warranty forever.
yeah. So how do you handle customer satisfaction in that regard?
Gently,
Yeah.
gently, and blame it on the manufacturer because that's who it lies on. It
Yeah.
is their deal that they don't pay for labor, no matter what it is. You could have put the part in an hour before it. You could have put a brand new boiler in at 10 o'clock in the morning and been done by 3 in the afternoon. By 4 o'clock, you realize the pump is bad. Then you have to drive back to your manufacturer or whoever you bought, the distributor where you bought the boiler from, try to get a new pump. And they say, oh, no, you have to wait 60 days until the manufacturer looks at this pump. I said, hold
That's
on, it's a half hour old. How is this possible? They said, that's the rule. So we got the new pump, we put it in. Hopefully everything goes good for the customer. And then we wait for 30, 60, 90 days to get a rebate from the manufacturer. Very difficult.
wow.
Very.
So you're carrying the expense of that replacement part just to get it done until the manufacturer reimburses.
Sometimes they deny it. And correct. Sometimes they deny it for
Yeah.
whatever reason. They come up with some silly reason. You didn't bring this back. You didn't dot an I in your warranty form. It's been very difficult. It's been very difficult. In the last 2 to 3 years, it's been very difficult. It's getting worse every day.
So product quality assurance is the biggest change you're seeing.
Very difficult. Definitely our most complicated issue that we're dealing with.
So this is happening all over HVAC, plumbing, and industry wide. So you talk to other people in your business, and they talk about how the quality of the parts have decreased.
That is correct.
And do you call the company and talk to the companies about this? And
We do. They won't help at all. They'll give you another part for free, but basically they're getting rewarded for selling you bad parts because you're buying another one then and then waiting to hope they will reimburse you for the that sold you the first.
well, that's frustrating for you.
It is very,
Yeah, I'd imagine.
especially for my guys that are on the road, wondering what is going on. I just put it in; it's all brand new. What could be going on? They obviously do the testing that needs to be done as far as diagnostics, and they say, "How could this be bad? I just turned it on for the first time ever," and it's just bad quality assurance on the manufacturing side.
So how often does this happen? Like
Every, every day,
every day?
it's
Wow.
horrible. Every day, every day.
So are there certain calls that you're seeing that like is it more plumbing or HVAC that you're seeing certain calls on these like that?
All of them, across the board.
That's interesting. So That I'm sure also backs up your schedule too, because now a job that you would have, scheduled, I don't know, 2, 3 hours for because of a part, you got to go back, and now that's messing up your whole entire schedule, right?
Messes up our whole schedule for weeks at a time. And there's parts that we're waiting for. If you're not using a brand that's right on the shelf, readily accessible, you might have to wait for 4 or 5 days.
Mm.
Very difficult. If you don't use something, let's not use any specific brand names, but say you're using an air conditioning product that doesn't have parts right on the shelf,
Mm-hmm.
you're waiting days and days and leaving your customer high and dry. So we
Yeah.
try to use parts from local distributors that are readily accessible, that we can replace that part easily enough to have our customer up and running the same day or the next day. It's not easy. Not easy.
I'm sure, because I'm sure a lot of people aren't carrying that much inventory due to costs.
They are not.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's shift to the types of jobs that you see. Is it seasonal for you? So, are you seeing more jobs? What are you seeing more of as far as like for you, the type of calls that are coming in, the types of jobs?
Well, in the summertime, when it's hot out, we're doing air conditioning mostly, whether it be
Mhm.
residential or commercial rooftops. And in wintertime, we're doing heating calls, boilers that go down. And before wintertime, we're doing a lot of cleanings of big, heavy commercial boilers. We work in a lot of inner cities. We do a lot of cleanings of commercial boilers, getting ready for the winter. Because a lot of inner cities, they want to show documentation that these boilers were worked on and ready for the winter before the winter actually gets here.
Right.
Winter is, I think it's October 15th is the beginning of heating season. They want to know the boilers were worked on and commissioned and ready for heating on October 15th, and there's no holdups.
Well, how do they call you, or you call them and say, "Hey, it's time for your service"? How does that work? That scheduling.
I have more than a few big customers that are just on the yearly rotation that I figure out to get them all done, or the majority of them done before that date. But a lot of them call me. They get violations. The state goes to checks every year, so they get a lot of violations. The state is always trying to make more money, so they'll violate some absolutely ridiculous thing like a
Mm-hmm.
switch or something to get it. So, well, we go taking care of the violations as they come. But most of the regular good customers of mine are on a yearly rotation. I take care of it without them calling.
Okay. Out of everything
Commercial customers, residential, mostly wait for them to call.
you wait for them to call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mostly.
Right. Out of everything you deal with in running your business, what is the most stressful for you, or time consuming right now?
And now as employees,
You don't have enough? What about it?
nobody has enough. You can't find younger people who are willing to work this hard on this kind of job and stay with you after you've taught them a lot of this trade. They either leave and want an easier job. They stay a couple weeks and say, I didn't know I was going to have to work this hard. Or they stay a year or two and say, I just want a job that's easier in the air conditioning all day in a big commercial building where it's much easier. Um, or they say they want to spend more time with their mates and not on the job at all the crazy hours that we do. I mean, we get boilers in the middle of wintertime in January. We did one last year where we were there for 37 hours straight doing it.
Wow. How many employees do you
This
have?
is everybody. This isn't for everybody.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a headache. So, how do you handle, like, I mean, I'm sure you're hiring people, but like, how do you handle retention for your employees?
You can't. I have a lead guy who I lean on strongly. He's been my basically partner through this company for 23, 24 years now. He helps me through a lot of it. He takes a lot of the weight on his shoulders. Um, he keeps the crews running strongly. I do my best to try to get helpers that are going to stay with us, try to get other experienced mechanics that can work with him. It hasn't been easy. Having employees that show up every day and aren't whining and complaining and bitching every day has not been easy over the last couple of years.
Mm.
which
So
majority of my friends and other people in this trade have all the same complaints.
employees, finding good employees that
That's
stay.
the hardest part.
So let's shift gears a little bit. Right now, how do you keep track of all your job details, your schedules, your billing, inventory, and make sure that nothing slips through the cracks?
That's all me. I take care of that stuff. Um, Bigger companies have many people in their office. I have friends that have 13, 14, 18 people in their offices, figuring out all that. I do that all myself. Um, Try to go over all the paperwork every single day as it happens and do my best to kind of juggle it. And, new customers, estimates, old customers, taking care of them, and try to just figure it out day by day.
So it sounds like you're in the office a lot because that sounds like a lot of time.
I am. And on the road doing estimates every day in the afternoon. It's a tough juggle. But I still love it. I still love it. I started young. I'm still loving it. So it doesn't bother me. But helping people is my thing. And everybody needs help.
Okay. All
And
right.
they're crazy when this stuff happens, when their basement starts flooding
Oh,
and
yeah.
and they're older. They have no air conditioning, no matter what age they are. It's detrimental to their property and to their lives. So I'm happy to be there to help them.
How many employees do you currently have?
6.
Six. So 6 months or a year from now, what would you like your business to look like? More jobs, bigger crews, maybe expanding into more areas, freeing up some of your time so that you can work on business development. What does that look like for you?
That
In
all
6
sounds
months?
really good. I love the sound of all of that. I've been trying to do that for years now. Like I said, new employees, very hard to
Yeah.
maintain or retain guys that have the knowledge and are willing to work the hours we work without complaining, because nobody wants to hear another employee complaining next to them. It's difficult. So basically, you can't take on more than you can chew, because then you wind up disappointing yourself and the customer. So you basically have to take, according to the employees that you have to take on only what you can handle.
Yeah. So, um, so you feel that if you had more time on your hands, you could actually potentially have more business.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. So hypothetically, if you had a magic wand, and you wanted to fix one thing right now that's holding you back, I think I know what you're going to say, but what would be the one thing that you would like that magic wand to fix that's holding you back or slowing you down or taking too much of your time? Um, Something that's going to give you back your time, which is something you can never win back, right? So
More educated, knowledgeable,
employees.
good employees.
Yeah.
That is the difficulty in everyone that I know that is in this trade right now. Reliable, responsible, good employees.
Yep. So if I gave you two magic wands, what would be the second thing that you would want? Because I knew you were going to say that one too.
2 magic wands. Probably not answering my phone. I was just on vacation recently in Europe. I answered phone calls on the top of the London Tower. I answered phone calls on the top of the Eiffel Tower. I answered phone calls in the Louvre. And there is companies and other resources that you could use to answer the phone calls for you. But at the end of the day, these phone calls just stay in the background in the dugout waiting for you to still respond. Because I am still, at the end of the day, the person who decides when that call gets taken care of, how it gets taken care of, who has to take care of it, when. It's all me. It still winds up all me anyway.
Right.
I mean, you can have a whole crew of people doing this, but that crew of people, that's young secretaries and other people and guys that really have never been in the field, that are mostly in people's offices, are
Hmm.
they really knowing who to send where and who's most important, who's not most important? Is a 100 family building more important than somebody who doesn't have hot water in the middle of the summer? That's what I do,
Right.
and that's how I run
So
my business.
prioritizing them. So that's
Yeah,
so
right,
your thing is making sure that it gets triaged. It's triage.
right,
Yeah,
right.
getting triaged. Yeah,
That's
and stopping the blood flow of it. Yeah.
correct. Correct.
Well, David, this has been great. And you've shared a lot of real life insights and how things are done day to day. And I think a lot of people in the industry will be able to relate to exactly what you shared. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about, added into this for trending in your industry or pain points?
I wish the trade schools could be more receptive to guiding their students into the platform which we're offering, the real work on the right jobs, maybe a little internship ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
maybe getting them geared towards interviewing before they graduate, getting them geared towards real life,
Yeah.
because they call, and sometimes when they do, because the trade schools don't seem to be great with sending the people to me, although we're on all their boards and on with all their directors and everything, you barely get any calls from them. And when they come here, they really don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like, they need a little hands on at the same time as they're learning it. I understand education is power. I
Mm-hmm.
got it. Education is power. But also, hands on during the education process is vital to this career. You
So,
can't just be theory, it has to be hands on as well.
so incorporating internships within the trade.
Correct.
That's a great idea, actually.
Half a day, 3/4 a day in the field,
Yeah.
a third of the day on the road, however you want to do it.
Right.
The classroom, it's important because there's a lot more to deal with than just this is how you solder a pipe. Okay, I mean, I have a bunch of guys come in, oh, I know how to solder a pipe. Okay, we don't do that anymore. Now we use ProPress machines. So
Mm-hmm.
that's old school technology. We don't care that you know how to do that or don't know how to do that. This is how we do it now. Mega press is how we join Schedule 40 black gas piping together. It's a gun that we use that for because it has less leaks, just like the ProPress has less leaks.
Mm.
These kids need to be learning this in school, and when they come out in the field with us, they at least need to have a little knowledge of what's being performed in the field in 2025,
Right.
not just old school stuff from 1990 that
Mm-hmm.
the teachers are saying, "Oh, this is how I remember doing it in 1990." Because those days are over. You have to
David,
stay
it
with
sounds like
technology.
you have a future career in being a teacher at one of these trade schools
Yeah, uh,
in your retirement.
yeah.
Something food for thought for a retirement job. Well, David, thank you for joining this episode of AI Strategies, creating AI solutions for your business. Thanks so
You're
much,
welcome,
David.
Patty.
We'll
My
see you.
pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.